I don't know what to think about this. I'm starting to worry that I might be crazy. But at the same time, I believe what I've experienced actually happened. I I guess I should start at the beginning. I never really believed in much of the paranormal stuff. There was some I believed in, like aliens and ghosts. I find that stuff believable, but when it got into really out there stuff, like Bigfoot or creepypasta characters, I never believed it. But one night, I work late at Taco Bell, taking the night shift. It pays well, and I've always loved the nighttime anyway. Anyway, it was around 2 in the morning, and I was driving home. And there was this kid on the side of the road. Now, I've always had a soft spot for kids. And this guy looked like your classic runaway. He's wearing a hoodie, hood up over his head, straggly hair from what I could see. He was a little hunched over, trying to flag a car down. I stopped and pulled up to him. I asked if he was in need of any help, and he walked over to me. He kept his hood up, and I couldn't really see his face. I asked him if he needed anything, and he just said, "Yeah, can you give me a ride?" I said, "Sure," but asked to where. "Your house," he said. "I want to go to your house." I was a little freaked out. I couldn't imagine why some runaway teen would want to go to my house. "I can't do that." "Why not?" "Because I don't know you. Just let me in." He began to yank on the car door like it was locked. "Please, just let me in. Let me in. Let me in." "No," I said. "Calm down. Calm down. Where are your parents?" "Just let me in," he yelled as he banged on the side of the window. "No, I'm not going to let you in." "Let me in," he said, banging on the window. "If you don't stop, I'm going to call the police." "Let us in," he shouted. I was freaked out, and I drove away. He chased after me for a while, but inevitably gave up. That was weird, I thought. Oh well, probably nothing. I thought it was nothing to worry about, at least. I began to drive home. And when I got home, I didn't know the horror I'd have waiting for me. You see, I live in a gated community. My parents are kind of rich, so they pay for most of my stuff. I don't live with them, but they kind of pay the bills for me. I hate to admit that I'm taking advantage of them, but, how could I not? I'm trying to get an art degree, though, so I can get into a decent college. The reason I live alone is because me and my sister, my younger sister, used to get into some pretty bad fights. Bad to the point where we've put each other in the hospital a few times. And so my parents didn't have to run the risk of one of us getting seriously hurt. When I turned 16, they moved me into my own house nearby. Just a little explanation to why I live on my own at such a young age. Either way, I live in a gated community. I drove to my house, got out of my car. But before the gates closed, I saw a kid in a hoodie running inside. Is that? No, it can't be, I thought to myself. I walked inside and locked my door. Something you usually wouldn't have to do in a gated community, but I was a bit freaked out. I went to go watch some TV, and I fell asleep. I was sharply awoke to a loud banging at my door. First, I thought it was part of my dream, but then the banging subsided. The banging continued. I walked over to my door, and I peered through what's it called? Whatever the name of the hole that you look through to see the other side of the door. I never really knew what those were called, but I looked through it. This is the weird thing, though. The street lights in my gated community are usually kept on all night, just in case, someone is just getting home from work. They're kept on so you can always see where you're going. But it was completely black. As I stared, I heard the banging again, and suddenly, out of nowhere, I could see the streetlights. "Let us in," I heard. Oh dear God, I thought. Could that kid really have followed me here? The banging continued. "Let us in." I tried to pretend like I wasn't home. I ran to hide. I went into my bedroom, and I locked myself in my closet with a knife and a phone. The banging continued. And then I heard banging on my bedroom window. "We know you're in there. Let us in." I called the police, and I waited until I heard the sirens getting close. When they did, and I heard the cops banging on my door, I went to greet them, and I told them what happened. They looked around and said that they hadn't found anything. Alright, I thought. I decided to go to bed after the cops left. I walked into my room. It was raining. I looked out my window, and I really wish I hadn't. There, standing there, was that kid with his hood down. His skin was unbelievably pale, and his eyes were completely ink black, with something leaking out of his mouth and eyes. It might have just been the rain running off his face, I don't know, but it did look creepy. He said one more time, "Let us in," and I yelled no. And then I didn't see the kid anymore. I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning horrified because I had just realized my window's on the second story.